Hey guys, it's AlleyOopDunks here. Another double round week is about to begin.
And today we have the usual agenda. We're going to talk about the credit bank from the previous round, our team results, the coach or coaches for this week, our team trades, and as usual, our team formation. So, starting from the credit bank, TJ Shorts remains unstoppable. He had a brilliant week. 41.8 fantasy points with a double-double, 28 points and 10 assists. Pretty much unstoppable for Paris. Jones, he had a sensational game with 20 points. It wasn't enough though for his team, but he still signed. Weller Bab, with a couple of more players like Campazzo and Courtinier, that they also increased their values, but by 0.6. But he started from a lower base at 7.7. Even though he had such an amazing game with 22 fantasy points, we wouldn't select him, for a second consecutive or maybe for a double round week. We think is a bit risky. That doesn't mean he's not able to do that, but past data has shown us that he has, in terms of fantasy, ups and downs. And finally, Lasso, happily it was our coach as well, increased by 0.5 credits and gave 25 fantasy points. So we thank him for that.
Yeah, and then you see on the down some big names. You see Monaco didn't have the best of the games, also versus Alba Berlin, not one of the big teams, and he didn't manage to perform as usual. So he had minus 0.8 credits and minus 2.7 fantasy points. That's a hit for his value mainly. Also Hayes Davis, same, minus 0.8 credits and minus 4 fantasy round points. Against Panathinaikos, it was a big game, but Hayes Davis didn't perform as usual and didn't contribute or help Fenerbahce to a victory. Then you see Shields. Armani is not performing as we all expected. Also taking into consideration the moves that they made during the summer. You see Shields minus 0.7 credits, minus 1 fantasy point rounds, and the worst is that Shields was injured during the Italian League game, so we're expecting for an update how long he'll be out from Armani. And from the coaches, you see Coach Feropoulos, minus 0.7 credits, minus 20 fantasy points, because Crvena Zvezda lost, and it's a big hit to the value of Coach Feropoulos. Overall, I'm gonna say something now. It can be debatable. We can talk for hours for this, but I want to point out to what Bill said about TJ Shorts. He is unstoppable, and to me, he is reminding me of Keenan Evans the first year with Zalgiris. He had an MVP season, if you remember, back then. So TJ Shorts reminds me of the same season. So if he continues to perform like that, he will be in the conversation for the MVP. I'm not gonna say he will win it, but he has to be in the conversation of the MVP.
In terms of impact, yes, I guess for the MVP of the fantasy, for sure, for the MVP of Euroleague, definitely not a thing. But in terms of impact, I agree with you. Amazing, like in an Evans last year. And I just wanted a last comment on here around Moneke. Perhaps now that's a good discount on his value, maybe a good time for someone to pick him now, because we think he's probably, if not the next game, but he soon has to be back on his usual form, as he's an amazing player.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
With that, we can move on to our results. And what I want to emphasize is the 2.7 game we had. We had a great fantasy round with 178.7. Arguably we could have slightly more or less, depends what we do. But on our previous round, we had to exchange TJ Swords and Jones, but we managed to get Lasso with this money, Brian and Maledon. So all in all, I think we are winners with this situation because we got more credits and we still got the fantasy points. So quite nice week from us. All our starting five more than 20 points, as you can see. Zaite 15 from as a sixth player, and he's been quite stable for us. And then Hermansson quality 14 points from the bench. So double round week. Let's see the coaches for this week then.
Yes. So you see on the left-hand side, Coach Ataman for round 6. Panathinaikos is playing versus Asvel at home. They're coming from a victory versus Fenerbahce in Istanbul, and also they won the local derby in the Greek league. So the moment they start gaining momentum after the defeats, and also the morale is high for the team. So we expect Panathinaikos to win this game, and also Coach Ataman to have plus 10 minimum points for round 6. For round 7, you see Coach Mateo from Real Madrid. You see his price 9.6 credits. This is the current price of Coach Mateo before round 6. So this price is a subject to be changed for round 7. And Real Madrid is playing versus Maccabi away. But as you have seen, Maccabi has some injuries, so the rotation is limited for Coach Katash, and Real Madrid is starting to gain momentum. So we expect Real Madrid to win this game.
True, and I wanted to add that we also thought the solutions of Saras for round 6 and Splitter for a very budget solution. And on the round 7, I don't remember who was playing against Alba Efes. Yeah, so Efes, Mijatovic in Berlin also could be a solution. But we ended up on this as we find them a little bit more secure. So let's see what happens without him. So here are the trades. We thank Brian for the 24.2 points. He had that last minute trade in our team because we had that injury last week, so we had to change last moment. So it was Brian. We now have to give him and we keep that 0.5 credits. Hermansson, he's been for a while in our team. He also did very well, 14 points, 0.2 increase. And we give these players out really because we're trying to do anything to get in shorts. We have shorts from the start. It was the single round that he was out, the last round, so we're getting him back. And we think he also has a good matchup, in terms of the tempo that Alba plays. Potentially is a good fit. Then you would say he already had 2 games. Quite crazy in terms of fantasy. Can he keep up? So is a question. But his current form has shown that he can keep up. So in any case, even if he doesn't have the best of the games, we're gonna keep him. So we keep him, and then for that reason, we have to bring players, let's say, from the more cheap place in the market. So we got Stragel that gets quite a long playing time. I think more than around 10 to 15 minutes each game. Just with 5.6 credits. And also we get Caruso for Ritchie. Caruso, he also played quite good in the last game in the Italian league. and he had a good showing as well last week. He's only 4.1 credit, so we're only risking here 0.1 credit loss, so it's something we can take. On the other hand, Richie, 4.8, if he has a really off game, it could cost us more in terms of credits. And on coaches, finally, amazing contribution by Pablo Lasso. And now we bring in Splitter again, as I said. Although we had as first choices Ataman and Saras, we actually want to bring in TJ Shorts. He's expensive, so we are getting a more, let's say, risky selection with Splitter, but we think Paris can win in Berlin.
And with that said, let's see the round 6 formation of our team. You see we have for turn 1 Vajankov, Mirotic, and TJ Shorts, all on fire. So we had the dilemma who can be the captain of turn 1. We ended up with TJ Shorts based on his last performances, and also based on the opponent that Paris and the rest of the teams are playing in turn 1. And then turn 2 we have Sako and Maledon, in also Jete. If we want to change to another captain, we have these 3 options. Also, you see, because we chose Caruso and Caruso, what was the other player? Slips my mind.
Ritchie, we had Ritchie before.
No. Yes, and Strazel. These are the cheap options. That's why we see which is our main point. We have 1.4 credits left for round 7. So if we want to upgrade our team, then we can spend more, for example, for a guard or a forward, depending the preference we have, or upgrade the coach for round 7 of our team. But as you see, these are the main players that we have. They're all in good form. The bench is okay, with not that good. We have more cheap players, but what matters the most is the 6 players that they can give you, the 5 starters and the 6 player and the coach contribution for the credits for round 6.
Exactly. So our main mission the last 3, let's say, rounds was to increase our credits, since we had a bad round 1, and we have managed that. So we actually from minus, let's say, from less than 100 credits, now we're up to 105.1, so we are on a good path, and I think the starting 5 looks quite nice, so hopefully they deliver as well. So that was our team, guys. You can leave us like, subscribe, and your comments if you want. Also follow us on X, when we will post, hopefully this week on time, our formation for the round 7. And see you then next time.
Yeah, guys, post also your teams, your suggestions, and enjoy double round week for Euroleague. See you then.